Dying has to be one of the worst experiences in Apex Mobile. It's a terrible feeling when you drop a high amount of kills, almost about to beat your personal kill record, then losing to the final squad. Or even worse, hot dropping, ready for action, only to be killed right as you land. Experiencing this over and over again can become frustrating, and here is why you keep dying in Apex Mobile. Let's start off with things you are doing inside the game. The first, and one of the biggest, is that you aren't sticking with your teammates. Unlike other games like PUBG and Call of Duty, in Apex, each player has a high amount of health as well as a shield that can pretty much double their health. In addition, magazine sizes are small, recoil can be difficult to control, and the damage feels low for a lot of the guns. You need to be sticking with your team because they give you a huge advantage. If you come across a single enemy, a 1v1 fight can have several outcomes, and having even one teammate by your side greatly improves your chances of winning that battle. And if you have your entire team, you're going to have a much higher chance of beating other trios as opposed to thinking you are goddamn Superman running into the middle of a full team. You are going to get absolutely destroyed. The next reason you keep dying is because you are putting yourself in bad situations. Stop being too aggressive. It all starts from the moment you press that jump button. If you aren't fully confident in your skills, then dropping in places with a lot of players may not be the best idea. And if you do plan on dropping hot, try dropping at a free building so that you can loot up and then go looking for kills, as opposed to dropping with another team at the exact same building and dying because they picked up the gun before you. Now let's talk about what you should be doing when you spot enemies. Instead of seeing an enemy team and running straight towards them, start paying attention to these key factors. Enemies. How many enemies are on the team that you are going to push? Are there any more enemies in the area? Do the enemies have an advantage, such as high ground or cover behind rocks or structures? What kind of gear do they have, like guns and evo shields? And most importantly, what legend are they using? Take note of all the players, including your own teammates, so that you can make decisions accordingly. The map. What kind of area are you fighting in? Is there enough cover or a lot of open space? Is there high ground that you can rotate to? And most importantly, is there a way to escape if the situation gets bad? Make sure you analyze the area, use the map to your advantage, and have planned escape routes. The zone. Is the zone coming in, or do you have enough time to fight? Will the zone hit your enemies first, because this can force them to run out from cover? Or will you be forced to move first because the zone is approaching you before the enemies? By collecting all this information first, you will know whether pushing the enemies is a good idea, and if you choose to push, you are going to have a huge advantage with all of this knowledge. After that is your weapon choice. There's more to selecting your loadout than just picking good guns. For example, imagine you have an R99 and a Kraber in your loadout. If you watched my weapon tier list video, you will know that I put the R99 in the A tier and the Kraber in the S tier. So then what's the problem with this loadout? It's because it's not a good weapon combination. Now you don't have any weapon to cover mid-range, and you can't spray long range either. You need to make sure that each weapon covers the other weapon's weaknesses, and your loadout should be able to cover close, medium, and long ranges. For example, the Flatline and the Volt. The Volt is quite a monster at close range, but it isn't great at longer ranges. And although the Flatline isn't the best weapon for close quarter combat, it is a great weapon for mid-range and even longer ranges too. The next reason you keep dying is because you aren't warming up. Whenever you begin a session, you should jump into the training room for 10 to 20 minutes, using various weapons that you know you will use in actual games. Then practice your recoil control at various ranges, your flicks, long range snipes, movement, and close quarter combat. If you want to take it a step further, you can even jump into 1 or 2 TDM matches to warm up your gun skill, and 1 or 2 arena matches to warm up your game sense. Trust me, it may seem like a chore, but warming up is crucial and is something you should be doing more often. Here's another reason you keep dying. You aren't communicating. You might be thinking,
well, Delta, how am I supposed to communicate with my teammate? They won't turn on their mics, and sometimes they don't even speak the same language as me.
Shut! If you or your teammates can use their mics, that's fantastic. However, there's still a couple ways to communicate in-game. The number one being the ping system. Make sure you turn on auto-ping items as well as auto-ping enemies, so that when you come across good loot or opponents, the game will automatically ping them for you. In addition, there is quick ping, which gives you the ability to manually ping, and you can choose 2 options. I chose go here and enemies because they are the most useful options. Being silent isn't going to help you and your team. Make sure you are pinging important things such as good loot, places you want to rotate to, and when you spot an enemy. And something you actually shouldn't be pinging too much is your banner. I get if you want to ping it a couple times, but don't spam ping your banner over and over again, especially when there's a full squad on me. The last thing I want to hear is Now, arguably one of the biggest reasons you keep dying is because you aren't improving. This sounds stupid, but hear me out. Just playing the game isn't going to make you better. Take a soccer player, for example, or a football player, whatever you want to call it. He can get better by playing matches, but he also needs to practice all aspects of the game, such as dribbling, passing, and shooting. And if he feels that any of his skills are a bit weak, he will spend extra time practicing them. This is exactly like Apex Mobile. You can't just play matches and expect to become the next big pro. You should be practicing and improving all aspects of the game, like recoil control, sniping, close quarter combat, movement, and a lot more. And if you feel that some of your skills could use some improvement, then spend extra time on that skill. For example, personally, I feel that my flicks aren't that great, so I'll usually spend extra time on them. But how are you supposed to know where you need improvement? And that is recording your games. By doing this, you can watch the footage back and see not only what skills you are lacking in, but also where you made mistakes and bad decisions, so that these mishaps won't happen again the next time you play. After identifying your weaknesses, go into the training room, practice every aspect of the game you can think of, and if there are any skills you feel are weak, make sure to practice them even more. There's a saying I go by, and that is practice with purpose. Now, all of the reasons I stated earlier had to do with things you are doing inside of the game, but there's another part to this, and that's things you are doing outside of the game. Starting off with your Wi-Fi. This is pretty obvious. You need good Wi-Fi to play smoothly. You can check your internet speed over at speedtest.net. While download speed doesn't matter too much, your upload speed matters a lot more, because this is what affects your ping. Ping is the time it takes for the server to respond whenever you do something in-game. You should have a solid 15 to 25 megabits per second of upload speed, and your ping should be below 80 for a good experience. This chart right here will show you how your ping will affect your gameplay. If you have bad ping, you will be lagging a lot, and playing the game will be a frustrating experience overall. Next is your device. I hate to say it, but to play at the best of your abilities, you need a good quality device. Obviously, like 99% of us can't just go out and buy a new device, so prioritize your frames over the game quality. Turn your frames all the way up, turn your graphics all the way down, just turn off any graphic related stuff and make sure your frames are as high as it can be. After this is a huge factor, and that is audio. You should make sure you are wearing headphones. Even a cheap pair of earphones is better than nothing. This way you will be able to hear where shots are coming from, as well as the footsteps of enemies. Playing with some form of headphones will help you out a lot, and it doesn't even cost that much. Now we are getting into some of the more serious reasons why you keep dying in Apex Mobile. One of those reasons is your physical health. In short, you need to make sure you are as comfortable as possible, and this means playing in a comfortable position, not playing while tired, hungry, or thirsty. Stay hydrated, gamers. And now, the absolute most important reason why you keep dying in Apex Mobile is none other than your mental health. It won't matter how good you are at the game, because your mental health defines your gameplay. When playing, you may begin to die very easily and lose games, and these are early signs of tilting. I'm gonna pass it over to a professional for this next part. Hello. Yes, I'm a professional. Anyways, tilting is when you react emotionally to things happening in the game, and this can cause a decrease in your skill. When tilted, you tend to become angry or frustrated. You might make excuses, blame things that are out of your control, and punish yourself for making mistakes in the game. And this doesn't just apply to video games. Imagine you are playing a sport and the other team is just shutting you down, so you start to get frustrated and make stupid plays. Or on a test when you can't seem to answer a single question, so you even forget how to do all of the easy questions. I know, video games are supposed to be fun, but there is a dark side to gaming, and it can really take a toll on your mental health. So let's talk about how to avoid becoming tilted, so you can play really well and have fun at the same time. At the first sign of becoming tilted, get off the game. Never play while tilted. You are only going to spiral down further, and it's only going to get worse. Take a good break, at least an hour, and more if you need it. If you need to stop playing for the whole day, that's completely fine. Even when you aren't tilted, you should be taking a break every couple of games. During this break, the next thing you want to do is take care of your physical and mental health. If you are hungry or thirsty, make sure to eat some food and get some water. If you feel like you need a breath of fresh air, stand outside or go for a walk and really just ease your mind. Just be relaxed and don't think about the game. And if you're feeling tired, make sure to get some sleep. When you finally return back to the game, make sure to do some warm-ups like I told you earlier. And if you follow all of these steps, I guarantee you the next time you get on, you are going to be playing much better. I'm a doctor, of course I know what I'm talking about.